Let me just go ahead and state from the top that this isn't another Uniqlo episode. I mean, it is, but today I'm gonna unpack exactly what the secret sauce is. Stuff that you may not know, or some of you may know, but proves the genius of the company. I'm your boy, THECASUAL, and this is why everyone loves Uniqlo, even you. Let's get it. Now, let me put you on game a little bit. Uniqlo isn't fast fashion the way you think. Yes, it's affordable, yes, it's global, but it doesn't operate like a trend-chasing machine. Why? Vertical integration. From design to manufacturing to in-store display, Uniqlo owns the whole chain. But instead of using that control to push like 30 drops a month, they use it to refine, slowly, strategically. That's why when you walk into a Uniqlo in March, then again in July, you still find like the same trousers, maybe in a new fabric, maybe with a small tweak, but not gone, not replaced. That kind of design consistency is rare, even among big brands, and honestly, it's kind of comforting for the consumer. And it mirrors something deeper in Japanese culture, the concept of Kaizen, which is really this idea of continuous improvement, not reinvention. Just a slow, quiet evolution that fits better the longer you engage with it. Now, here's the thing about Kaizen. You guys actually have seen this before, most notably Yohji Yamamoto. The Yohji Yamamoto brand and all of its sub-labels practice Kaizen like their entire life depends on it. From collection to collection, you see these small little changes that run almost parallel to every collection that came before it. There are no monumental changes in design methodology or theme. In contrast to a lot of Western brands that try to innovate to do something new all the time, in Japan, it's just a little bit different. Establishing your identity really is just being consistent, but also exploring how deep your consistent methodology is, if you kind of understand that. That's basically what Kaizen is. It's seeking perfection without ever being perfect. In the case of Uniqlo, it becomes a lot more understandable because this is a brand that has made incremental changes over the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years. However, it is important to understand that these changes are contingent upon changes that are happening within the grand scheme of the fashion industry, which is why when people say that Uniqlo isn't about trends, I often just kind of have to, huh? And that's because Uniqlo wouldn't exist if it didn't compartmentalize trends, if it didn't understand what those trends are. There is a methodology, but instead of making these sweeping changes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna provide you with the changes that are happening within the industry without losing the identity that makes Uniqlo unique. I mean, you don't do collaborations with J.W. Anderson, Jill Sander, and then have the ex-Givenchy creative director running your entire label if you didn't care about those things. When Uniqlo brought on Claire Waight Keller, who led Givenchy no less, it wasn't to chase luxury, it was to translate trend into usability, to embed relevance into simplicity. That's what Japanese culture excels at, compartmentalizing complexity. Trends aren't rejected. And that's exactly what Claire Waight Keller tapped into. Not to shake things up, but to integrate high fashion subtly into a design system that already worked. So when you pick up that hoodie, you're not just buying something trendy, you're stepping into a machine that's built to last. You like Uniqlo because it makes style feel accessible again, season after season, slightly better than the last. And in a world where most brands scream for your attention, there's something beautiful, I guess that's the right word to use, about the one that just calmly says, "We got you."
Before we continue, a quick word from our sponsor, Squarespace. If you've been thinking about turning that fashion idea into something real, whether it's a brand, platform, or just a place to build community, Squarespace is where you start. This isn't just a website builder, it's full-on brand building toolkit. You got stunning templates that don't look cookie cutter, built-in e-commerce so you can sell your pieces, members areas to build loyalty, and email campaigns to keep your people in the loop. All of it under one roof. And now with Blueprint AI, it gets even easier. Just answer a few quick questions about your style, your goals, your vibe, and Blueprint builds a custom layout tailored to your brand's identity. Fonts, colors, flow, it's all curated for you. No more blank canvas, no overthinking, just build and launch. So when you're ready to go from idea to execution, head up squarespace.com/thecasual to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Build the brand, build the community, do it all with Squarespace.
All right, so let's get specific. I got some Uniqlo stuff that I want to show you because this really illustrates exactly what I mean by compartmentalizing trends and how it actually expands what Uniqlo is and why it feels in line with what's going on while at the same time easy to get into. So this is a Uniqlo drop shoulder hoodie. Now, if you go back to past collections from Uniqlo, you don't actually get this silhouette. We're talking about the drop shoulder, the cross collar, even the ribbing on the bottom here is looser than what your typical hoodie would have. It gives you a looser, more relaxed fit, but also it goes well with other pieces that you may already have in your closet, whether they be Uniqlo or not. Right here is the example of compartmentalizing trends and faking everybody out to think that this was always there. And then you take something like the sweat shorts. They're tailored but soft. The volume is where you want it. The structure is where you need it. You could wear them to a cafe, to the gym, or just around the city. It's genius. This is what happens when you balance form with real world wear. It's adaptability without sacrifice. And here's the crazy thing. It's not just about what Uniqlo is doing at a tailoring or granular level. This is what Uniqlo is doing in response to this whole quiet luxury movement that really is the overall trend. You know, we have all these micro trends that are happening in TikTok or whatever, but really the overall trend is a return to basic pieces and how stuff feels. And Uniqlo has responded in kind. A lot of their stuff that they're releasing now has a lot more fabric technology, going back to a place that they feel most comfortable. Think about heat tech, airism, all that other stuff. Ultra light downs, that's very much in the Uniqlo universe. But what you're getting now is updated silhouettes. And that is really the essence of what Uniqlo is. One of the things that they have untapped is this idea of DIY fashion. And that seems like it should be obvious. But while other brands are trying to dress you, Uniqlo is trying to give you the tools so you can dress yourself, which is why so many people love it, because you can pretty much do anything that you want with it, which is why they need to be up on the latest silhouettes that are gaining ground, because if they're not, then most people won't have a place to go to or at least explore those silhouettes without spending top dollar to do it. So many people have told me so many different times that, hey, Uniqlo isn't about trends, they just give you basics. Well, if they were just about basics, then why do they do collaborations like Uniqlo or J.W. Anderson or White Mountaineering or Engineered Garments? Why do they hire people like Nigo or even Pharrell at one point to do collections? The reason why they do these things is because they are up on the latest. They know how to speak to customers. And here's the thing, no matter if you suggest other brands, the problem with suggesting those different options is that most of the time they're not even in the same price range, which is really the calling card of Uniqlo. You get all of these styles, or at least you get the base version of that style without having to pay the premium that it would cost to buy something that's just maybe slightly better quality. But at the end of the day, are you being fulfilled by the brand that offers even the basic version of the top tier version of what you want? I think I said that correctly. And the answer is yes. Yes, Uniqlo provides that. That's why it doesn't matter what income bracket you occupy, whether you're not that wealthy or you're very wealthy, Uniqlo becomes this kind of, hey, yeah, I'll get it. Even me, I for the longest would not pitch Uniqlo, but recently, because of the silhouette changes, because of what they are offering, and because in certain areas the quality has excelled, I had to kind of step back, Come here, come here. So, yeah. My daughter scared the heck out of me, so we had to pause real quick. Why are you laughing? Are you okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah.
何が?
I don't
Uniqlo について. What are you gonna do right now? なんでそれ? What are you gonna do right now? 今何するの?
まだ宿題やってる。
まだ宿題やってるの? じゃあ宿題やって.
バイバイ。
Love you. Kiss. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. That was odd. So even for myself, some of the silhouettes just hit. They have that nice, leery, flowy stuff that I like. And, you know, it kind of fills out parts of my wardrobe that otherwise I would spend top dollar on. It's easy to overlook this stuff, but think about it. How many brands are putting ex-Givenchy designers in charge of sweat shorts and still selling them at prices that don't insult your wallet? So yeah, why does everyone love Uniqlo? To end this all out, because it's there when you need it. That sounds like a very just generic end, but because it gives you quality without the guilt, because it fits without fuss, because every now and then you walk past the mirror and think, this actually looks good. And then you realize, oh, it's Uniqlo again and again and again. But I want to hear from you. What do you think of Uniqlo's position in the market? I know some of you are a bit wary of its quality, or you scoff at the idea of it being so popular, and even criticize its use of synthetics, which are all notable criticisms. However, one cannot deny how accessible it is. So let us know your thoughts on how Uniqlo demands everyone's attention in the comments. Positive, negative, let them be known. Be sure to like, sub, and turn on notifications if you found this content entertaining or useful to you. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international fashion, culture, and business from Tokyo. It's here, almost messed that up. Keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.